Good morning. Let's move further with chapter 14 Statistics. Today's topic is graphical representation of data. Now, let's see how to represent the given data in the form of graph. Now, for that, the graphical representation of data is eye-catching and easier to understand than the actual data. Now, why we are drawing graphs of the given data? The graphical representation is very attractive. It attracts a person, and another thing, it is easier to understand the given data, because when the given is data in the actual form, we are unable to understand it in a perfect way. But when we represent it in the form of a graph, it is easier to understand the same actual data. Now, we can represent the data graphically by following ways. First is bar graph. A bar graph provides a visual display for comparing quantities. This graph already we have learned in previous classes. Then also it is here in our syllabus also. So let's see that what is bar graph. A bar graph is nothing but it gives us the visual, means it gives a display for comparing quantities. We use the bars to compare the quantities of the given data. Now, for representing this type of graph, that is bar graph, we represent the categories on the x-axis. That is we take the categories on the x-axis. Means x-axis represents the categories, while y-axis represents the value of these categories. Means whatever category is given, that we will take on x-axis, and whatever the frequency for the respective category is given, that we will take on y-axis. So x-axis represents the categories, y-axis represents the value of these categories. All the bars should be of uniform width with equal spacing between them. Now, when we are comparing, as it is a comparing graph only, so when we are comparing and when we are making the bars, these bars should be of uniform width, means the broadness of the bars should be uniform, and further the space between the bars also should be equal. Yes, it should be like this, that if we are taking one box width, because graph paper already boxes are made on the graph paper, so when we use one box is the width of each bar. In between respective two bars, we have to, consecutive two bars, we have to give the gap of equal number of bars. Either you can give one bar space in between two bars, you can also give two box space between two bars. This already we have learnt in lower levels. Another type of graph, that is histogram. This is also we have studied in lower levels. Then also let's once understand what it is. A histogram is a graphical representation of a frequency distribution. Now, this histogram is also a graphical representation of frequency distribution. Means whatever frequency distribution tables we are making for that. And this is used for your grouped data. Yes, means for a very large numbering data we use histogram. Now, we know that group data, we are first making the class intervals for the respective groups, and after that we are carrying further, means we will prepare the frequency distribution of the given groups with their frequency, and then we have to plot draw the graph for the same. Again, there are two types of class intervals. One is continuous and one is discontinuous. When generally most of the class intervals are continuous also, but it may be discontinuous. When the classes are continuous, class intervals are continuous, no need to do anything. You have to follow only how to draw the histogram. But if the class intervals are discontinuous, we have to make some changes that I will explain further. Remaining part of representing we have to follow as it is. So we represent the class intervals along the x-axis to avoid the gaps in the construction of histogram. So what is the difference between the bar graph and histogram is that in histogram we does not leave space between the bars. The bars are drawn, they are constructed avoiding the gaps. No space is given between the bars in histogram. Yes, so we represent the class intervals on the x-axis, along the x-axis, and we represent the frequency along the y-axis. So always frequency is taken on y-axis and the class intervals are taken on x-axis. Construct rectangles with bases along x-axis and heights along y-axis. Now when we are making these bars are nothing but rectangles, and whenever we are constructing these rectangles, we are making these bars, the bars base should be on x-axis and the vertical line, that is height, should be along the y-axis. Now as I said that if the data is for discontinuous class intervals, yes, for continuous and discontinuous class intervals the procedure is the same. Means we take class intervals on x-axis, frequency on y-axis, make the rectangles without leaving the space. These all are same in both the situation. But in continuous class intervals we take the same class intervals as mentioned in the question. But if the data is for discontinuous class intervals, then first we make the class intervals continuous, that is we change the class intervals as continuous class intervals. How we change? By subtracting 0.5 from lower limit and adding 0.5 in upper limit of each class interval. Yes, so to make the given data for discontinuous class intervals, we convert it into continuous class intervals by doing nothing but we subtract 0.5 from the lower limit and add this 0.5 in the upper limit. For example, it is given here. See, suppose that class intervals are 11 to 15, then 16 to 20, 21 to 25, and so on. Here you can see that there is a gap between 1 in each class interval. Here you can see after 15 the next number comes 16. It is not like this that 11 to 15 and then 15 to 19. It is not like this. It is not continuous. It is discontinuous. There is a gap of one number between both the class intervals. So if such type of discontinuous class intervals are there, we change it here, we make it here, we convert it into continuous class intervals. How? By subtracting 0.5 from the lower limit and adding 0.5 in the upper limit. You can see that now in the next this line we have made it continuous. Means see, subtracting 0.5 from 11, that is we will get 10.5 as lower limit and adding the same 0.5 in the upper limit, that is it will become 15.5. So our first class interval is 10.5 to 15.5. Second class, when we subtract 0.5 from 16, we will get lower limit as 15.5, and when we add 0.5 in upper limit 20, we will get the upper limit as 20.5. You can see now. See, 15.5 till 20.5, and we will continue for each class is given. Again 20.5 to 20. Now you can see this 15.5, 15.5, see. This is continuous. Again 20.5, sorry. Here you can 20.5 and 20.5. Similarly, you will get 20.5 and 25. Similarly, you will get the continuous class intervals. So when discontinuous class intervals are given, take care that you are first changing it in as continuous class intervals and then moving further. This year, according to the revised syllabus for this chapter, the topics which are deleted for the academic year 2020-2021, that is 3 topics are deleted, that is histograms with varying blaze lengths. Yes, that is there. Then second topic is frequency polygons, and the third topic is mean, median and mode of ungrouped data. These 3 topics are deleted for this academic year, that is 2020 and 2021, due to the pandemic of corona. Now let's start with exercise 14.3. So question number 1 of exercise 14.3. Yes, this is exercise 14.3. Question number 1. A survey conducted by an organization for the cause of illness and death among the women between the ages 15 to 44 in years worldwide found the following figures in percentage. Now, a survey was done by an organization for cause of illness and the death among females aged between 15 to 45 along whole worldwide. It was given. Now the data was presented as given below in the table. You have to first represent the information given above graphically, and second, which condition is the major cause of women's ill health and death worldwide. Try to find out with the help of your teacher any 2 factors which play a major role in the cause in second, that is death above being the major cause. Yes, so let's first represent the given data graphically. So for answer number 1 of question number 1, by representing causes on x-axis and family fatality rate on y-axis, that is the frequency which we can say, and choosing an appropriate scale, that is 1 unit equal to 5% for y-axis, the graph of the formation given above can be constructed as follows. Now on x-axis we take the causes of illness, and on y-axis we have to take the female fatality rate. Yes, in percentage whatever it is given, that is frequency will take in as on y-axis. Now let's represent the graph. So on graph page, on x-axis, 1 box you have to leave, first box on x-axis you have to leave the first box, second box you will make a bar for the first cause, that is so the causes, leave 1 box, first box on x-axis, on second box you will write the first cause, that is reproductive health conditions, again leave 1 box, in the second box you will write the second cause, that is neuropsychiatric conditions, again leave 1 box, in third box you will write the third cause, that is injury, similarly leave 1 box, and another after leaving means or every alternate box you will write 1 causes. The fourth cause is given as cardiovascular condition, fifth cause is given as respiratory condition, and the sixth cause, that is other causes, are given. Now on y-axis we have taken the female fatality rate in percentage, that we will mention on y-axis. So let's see in the graph, whole exercise 14.3 we have to do in graph book. When we are solving this, the question should be written on the right hand side page and graphical representation should be done on the left hand side page. So on x-axis every alternate box you have to write the cause, and on y-axis you will take the female fertility rate, that is you will start from 5 and you will take the difference of 5, that is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. You have to mention properly that what we have taken on x-axis, that is we have taken the causes, and what we have represented on y-axis, that is the female fertility rate in percentage. After marking all these things on x and y axis, let's now make the bars of the bar graph. So for the first cause, the rate is given as, yes, so you will create a bar for the first cause till 31.8, because the female fertility rate in percentage is given for the first cause is 31.8. So you have to mark till 31.8, that is 30. Between 30 and 35 there will be 10 lines. So you have to select 4 more lines, because 2 lines will represent 1%. So we have to take 4 lines, as it is 31.8 means it is nearly 32. Then for the next cause, the given rate is 25.4. Again you will make a bar till 25.4, that is 1 line more than 25 you have to create. Here it is given, see, this is the bar for the first, like this, and you have to use the scale and properly make the bar with equal length. Then similarly for the third cause, the rate is given as 12.4. So you will take between 10 and 15, that is 2 lines represent 1%. So there is 12 means it is 4 lines and 1 more line, as it is 0.4. So you will select 5 lines after 10%, and then you will make the bar. Then again for next cause it is 4.3, so you can select between 0 and 5, and for the last cause it is 22. So we have to select between 20 and 25. After 20 you have to select 4 lines, that will become 22. In this way you have to represent the bar graph of the given question. All the rectangles bar are of the same width and have equal spacing between them. This you have to take care that when you are making the bars, they have their broadness is equal, and another thing that the distance between each bar is also equal. So as I have stated that you will draw the bars alternate box at alternate box. Here first box you have to leave on x-axis, then one box you will use for your bar, again leave one box, then again another bar, then again leave box, and then another bar. In this way you have to make the bars. Now question number 2, it was asked that, so the answer for question number 2 is reproductive health condition is the major cause of women's ill health and death worldwide, as 31.8% of women are affected by it. Means the highest frequency is 31.8. So the cause for that is highest death rate is due to reproductive health condition. And the third, the factors are as follows. Now according, it is asked also that according to you, what are the factors for this cause? So the factors for this cause, which cause reproductive health condition, is lack of medical facilities and lack of correct knowledge of treatment. These two are the main factors due to which there are due to which reproductive health condition is the major cause of women's ill health and death. Now question number 2, the following data on the number of girls to the nearest tens per 1000 boys in different sections of Indian society is given below. Yes, so section, and according to the section, number of girls per 1000 boys is given. Now you have to represent the information above by a bar graph, and second you have to answer the question that in the classroom discuss what conclusions can be arrived at from the graph. Means when you are after representation of the graph, what are the conclusions you can make out from the graph. So for answer of number 1, by representing section on x-axis and number of girls per 1000 boys on y-axis, the graph of the information given above can be constructed by choosing an appropriate scale, that is 1 unit equal to 100 girls for y-axis. So let's represent the graph on the graph page. That on x-axis we have to take leaving alternate box, that is leaving one box. We will write the sections, that is SC, ST, non-SC, ST, then backward districts, then non-backward districts, then rural, and then urban. These all sections will mention on x-axis leaving one boxes, yeah, leaving one unit. And on y-axis, as we have taken number of girls per 1000 boys, that is we will take the scale of 100. So we will write on y-axis as 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and so on till the highest frequency whatever it is given. So here all the rectangles again we have to take off same width, that is their width should be of one unit only, and should be equal spacing between all the bars, that is there should be difference of one unit between each bar. So when we write now, after marking the x-axis and y-axis, we make the bars according to the given information. That is for SC, it is given the number of girls is given 940, so we will select between 900 to 1000. Again here between 900 to 1000 there are 100, means you will take one line as 10, 20, one each line as that small line present between each unit is 10. If there are only 5 lines in one unit, then you have to take one line as 20. But generally in the graph papers there are 10 lines in one unit, so you will select one small line as 10 girls, number of girls. So you have to mark accordingly. For SC the given number of girls is 940, for ST the given numbers of girls is 970, then for non-SC ST the given number of girls is 920, for backward it is given as 950, for non-backward it is given as 920 again, for rural it is given 930, and for urban it is given 910. So accordingly you have to make the bars. Now let us see what conclusions we can give after representing the graph. So the answer number 2 is, it can be observed that maximum number of girls per 1000 boys, that is 970, is for ST, and minimum number of girls per 1000 boys, that is 910, is for urban. Also, the number of girls per 1000 boys is greater in rural areas than that in urban areas. Backward districts than that in non-backward districts, SC and ST than in non-SC and ST. So you have to write this answer on right hand side of your page of your graph book. Yes. So this is what we can make it out after the representation of the graph. You can only write this also, only one point, that maximum of girls per 1000 boys is for ST and minimum number of girls per 1000 boys is for urban. This much information also you can write. Now next question number 3. Given below are the seats won by different political parties in the polling outcome of a state assembly elections. Yes. Information is given in table. You have to draw a bar graph to represent the polling results. And second, you have to answer which political party won the maximum number of seats. So for answer, by taking polling results on x-axis and seats won on y-axis and choosing an appropriate scale, that is 1 unit equal to 10 seats for y-axis, the required graph of the above information can be constructed as follows. Again on x-axis you will take the political parties mentioned in the information, and on y-axis you have to take seats won by the respective political parties, and y-axis scale you have to take 1 unit equal to 10 number of seats. So after marking you make the bars according to the information. That is for political party A, the seats won by political party are given as 75. Then for political party B, the seats 1 are 55, for C it is 37, for D it is 29, for E it is 10, and for F it is 37. Accordingly, make the bars, and then here after the representation, answer the question number 2. That is, the answer is political party A won maximum number of seats. You can see directly also from the given data that A is having the maximum number of seats 1. So graph also it shows that the highest bar, the greatest bar is made by party A. So maximum number of seats 1 is by party A. Next, question number 4. The length of 40 leaves of a plant are measured correct to 1 millimeter, and the obtained data is represented in the following table. Draw a histogram to represent the given data. Is there any other suitable graphical representation for the same data? And the third question, is it correct to conclude that the maximum number of leaves are 153 millimeter long, and why? Okay. So first let's make a histogram. Now, as previous I have mentioned that you can see that the class intervals, that is class intervals is nothing but the length of the leaves of the plant, they are not given as continuous, they are discontinuous. So first we make the given classes as continuous. So let's see. It can be observed that the length of leaves is represented in a discontinuous class interval having a difference of 1 in between them. Therefore, half, that is equal to 0.5, has to be added to each upper class limit and also have to be subtracted 0.5 from the lower class limits, so as to make the class intervals continuous. So first we make the class intervals continuous by adding 0.5 in all the upper limits and subtracting 0.5 in all the lower limits of the respective classes. And then we will make a graph. So let's make a new table for that. So we will get a new table as mentioned here. You can see length, that is we have subtracted in the lower limit 0.5 and added 0.5 in the upper limit. So we will get the first class interval as 117.5 to 126.5, and the number of leaves, that is frequency, you have to write as it is. Second class interval we will get is 126.5 to 135.5, again third class 135.5 to 144.5, then 144.5 to 153.5, then 153.5 to 162.5, 162.5 to 171.5, and 171.5 to 180.5. Now you can see here continuous means there is no gap, no number is left in between. Here you can say, see, it is continuous. Here 126.5 is the upper limit of the first class here interval, and that is only the lower limit of the second class interval. Similarly, this 135 repeated, this again repeated, this again repeated. So we will get a continuous class interval. Now after making the given data as continuous class interval, let's construct the graph here, represent the graph on the graph page. So on x-axis, taking the length of the leaves and the number of leaves on y-axis, the histogram of the information can be drawn as above. Here on y-axis we have taken the scale as 1 unit equal to 2 leaves. You have to write the scale compulsory on the graph page, means you will mention the scale on the graph page in this way. Here you will mention the scale on y-axis. Yes, this you have to mention like this, and whatever you have taken, that is 1 unit equal to 2 leaves. This you have to write completely on the graph page only. Now after writing this, you have to construct, that is on x-axis, you have to take the class intervals, and on y-axis you will take the number of leaves, that is your frequency. And when you are making the bars here, as it is a histogram, you don't have to leave the space in between the bars. Bars should be touched to one another. No space should be there between respective bars. Yes. So for the first class interval, the number of leaves are 3. Now again, when we are making, we have to draw a zigzag line between these, because we have taken 0 is our origin of the x and y axis, so we write it 0. So we are taking after that the first class interval, that is 117.5. The between numbers we are not writing, so we make it discrete, that is we will show this zigzag line wherever you are taking the first class interval as a distance between, gap between 0 to first. So we have to mention that, and after writing this we will select the box, that is you can make this zigzag sign in the first box, and you will select from the second box your class intervals, that is you will write 117, then 117.5, then 126.5, then 135.5, then that is you will mention only the lower limits you have to write on the each अपने box. Yes, you will mention only the lower limits. Yes, you can see that all these lower limits here, this whatever are given here, are mentioned on the x axis here. These are mentioned here. Yes, you will mention till your highest, but when you are writing, you should take this L shape. This L shape you will take this all lower limits and the last upper limit. After that, make the bars for each class interval, and you have to join all the bars without leaving the gaps in between. Now the answer number 2, that is other suitable graphical representation is possible. Yes, the other suitable graphical representation of this data is frequency polygon, but as this year we don't have frequency polygon in our syllabus, but you can write that other graphical representation for this data is frequency polygon. And the third question answer is no, as maximum number of leaves has their length in between 144.5 millimeter and 153.5 millimeter, it is not necessary that all have their lengths as 153 millimeter. It is, you can see from the table itself that the maximum number, that is 12 number of leaves, are having the length between 144.5 to 153.5. It does not mean that all the 12 leaves are having the length of 153 millimeter. Yes. Next question number 5. The following table gives the lifetimes of neon lamps. Yes, again now it is for group data. So you can see that class intervals are given which are already continuous. So here you don't have to prepare another new table. Whatever table is given, we will use the same table for representation of graph, because the classes are already continuous. So here again we have to represent the histogram and answer the question that how many lamps have a lifetime of more than 700 hours. Yes, so you can see that from the table itself we can see that from 700, more than 700 means we have to select these 3. That is, we have to add all these 3, and whatever summation is coming, that is that number of lamps are having lifetime of more than 700 hours. So first let's represent the data as histogram. So by taking lifetime of neon lamps on x-axis and the number of lamps on y-axis, the histogram of the given information can be drawn as follows. Yes, so we take the lifetime of neon lamps on x-axis and the number of lamps on y-axis. Again here we have selected on y-axis 1 unit equal to 10 number of lamps. So you will write the scale on the graph page, that is scale on y-axis 1 unit equal to 10 lamps, and then you will make the bars without leaving the space, that is respective class length, whatever number of lamps are given you will make that. Again here you have to show the sign of zigzag, as we are taking the number directly after 0, we are taking the number 30. So we have to show the zigzag line in the first box, and from the second box we will start selecting, that is 30, 40, 50, whatever it is given in the lifetime of the neon lamps, and we take on y-axis number of lamps 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 in this way. And then for the respective class length we have to make the respective bar with the given frequency, and that also without leaving the space between each rectangles of the histogram. And the answer number 2 of this question, it can be concluded that the number of neon lamps having their lifetime more than 700 is the sum of the number of neon lamps having their lifetime as 700 to 800, 800 to 900 and 900 to 100. Therefore, the number of neon lamps having their lifetime more than 700 hours is 184. How 184? All the last 3 frequencies you have to add, that is 74 plus 62 plus 48, which will give you as 184. Dear students, please solve exercise 14.3 in graph book. Graphs you have to draw on left page, and the remaining all the the given table of the question, all the respective answer of the questions asked in that should be written on the right side of the right side page. Yes, and please use scale and pencil only to draw to represent the graph. Thank you.